It is with mixed emotions that we must announce that Mixed Reality,
Has seen mixed success. Actually, no
any,
success. Right.
what,
A mix of terrible and worse success.
yeah, yeah, I have one. I have one of those HP.
I, yeah, I do too. Uh, Somewhere.
I
You
really
have.
enjoyed the. I liked my. I think my kid liked it more than I did. I don't know. I just like to put it on to Universal
Yeah.
or Universal Studios, Universe Sandbox, if I could talk,
hmm
and that was
I, I don't know. It always kind of felt half-hearted to me.
it's
Um,
weird coming from Microsoft.
well, I would say they almost treated it like Google would treat it,
Mm-hmm.
like they kind of threw it out there, didn't do much with it. And I don't know. There's this, you can sort of see this kind of road of failure where it was tied to this universal app platform where they wanted to, you could run your apps like
Mm-hmm.
Windows 10 apps would run like on Xbox, on
Mm-hmm.
Surface, whatever that thing was. Well, Surface Hub eventually, mixed reality, HoloLens, phone. Like it's not a it's not a bad idea. It's just that all the non-Windows platforms basically failed. You know, I
Yeah.
mean not Xbox so much, but the case for running apps, like actual apps on a Xbox, other than like say Netflix and those kind of apps, is just
Mm-hmm.
not big, I guess. Anyway, there was a good story here. There really was. I like the one of the great examples was a car maker would have their instead of literally taking a ton of clay and knifing away the shape of a vehicle so you could walk around it in 3D in real world 3D.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a guy with a HoloLens do this virtually, and then you could have less expensive mixed reality headsets that other people could view it and walk around it and you know open the door, and kind of see how everything fit together. It's a good idea. The problem is there's only, I don't know, 17, 18 people in the world that need that. And
Right.
that was always kind of the deal. Like HoloLens has some, and mixed reality have these kind of, I guess we'll call them vertical use cases that, these things are actually pretty cool, like, or useful, I should say. And, but the mixed reality thing, obviously in that market, you've got a kind of a combination of entertainment. It's mostly entertainment, right? I mean, I don't know. They just never really putting it in the platform was kind of the right decision, I think. But
Yeah.
I don't know, just never.
Just never.
The only thing, well, yeah, you mentioned an HP. You said you have an HP one, right?
Yeah.
So I have this vague memory that the only major upgrades to the platform, so to speak, didn't come from Microsoft. They came in the form of higher resolution headsets from third parties, right?
Yep.
So Samsung did this, and HP was one. I think that the year that came out, it was like the only one, right? The
Mm-hmm.
only new one, and the deal was it probably doubled the resolution in each direction, which is what, four times or however that works out. But that was it, right? It was just I don't know that the actual software platform ever got a meaningful upgrade, from a
Yeah.
functionality perspective, right?
And the world has pretty much gone wireless. I would say the Meta Quest, one of their models, I can't
Yeah,
keep them straight, is
yeah.
probably the best to read right now.
And
And
Microsoft has partnered
yeah.
very heavily with them on
Mm-hmm.
this, which I think maybe was telling in
Yeah. Yeah.
retrospect. So yeah, I mean, if you want that kind of thing, it's out there in the form of the MetaQuest stuff, and Apple will soon have the. I'm sure Microsoft will be all over that as well, like with Office and whatever. I don't know if Apple could ever get its act together with Xbox. You could use it to play games, from
Yeah.
Xbox. I mean, obviously there'll be games, but it's a great use for a $3,600 headset or whatever that thing costs. You know, yeah, I spent all this money so I could play, Halo on a flat screen in a 3D space.
One of the things we talk about a lot is
Yeah.
Microsoft putting a third party app store on mobile devices. Like, we suspect that's
hmm
coming.
Yeah.
Regulatory things need to happen, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You know
Yep.
what might be even more interesting is the
hmm
Xbox game store on the Apple TV,
God, yeah.
right? That is the Lockhart, or not Lockhart, the streaming box that they've been trying to build.
You know, yeah, they were so. Obviously, Apple has this Apple Arcade thing, which has probably met with mixed success, and probably mostly any success it has is probably tied more to it being bundled in Apple One. I would imagine. I'm
Yeah.
just guessing. I literally have no data, but Google has something that's even less successful because no one's ever heard of it, and it's called what the hell's it called? Google Play something. Anyway, it's Apple Arcade, but on Google, right? And
Mhm.
I don't even know the name of it. I'm a member of it right now because I got it for free for 3 months, but um and there was a push on the Apple TV to turn it into a gaming thing, right? I mean, and Apple Arcade is on the Apple TV, right? I assume it is, yeah. So, I mean, given the lack of success of these things, like, yeah, why not let these things on? My God, like, I you're just driving usage of the device, like, and driving people to buy it. You know, I don't know. It's weird to me how restrictive this stuff is and how pointless it all is.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll get that. I don't know either. That's my tagline. I don't
See
know.
it happening, maybe, if they let it. Who knows?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there was also uh, the Xbox stuff. I'm blanking on
Xbox
the
stuff.
reorg of ABK
Yes.
effectively joining in. Bobby Kotick is leaving. A bunch of
Right.
several other executives are leaving, but
Yeah, there's going to be a puff of sulfur, and that guy's going to disappear into the underworld where he belongs. But well, we knew this was coming by the end of the year, so now we
Right.
have a timing on that, and the very interesting case of Activision Blizzard being integrated into Xbox. Right,
Mhm.
this is not what they've done with a lot of other acquisitions. Mojang being a good example, Bethesda being an
Yeah.
example. Um, I it's almost like they want to scatter this company to the wind. Like, we're never going to get past their workplace violation stuff unless we actually get rid of it, or something. I
Yeah,
don't
a
know.
lot of their, I think they did say their studios are going to continue to remain
Yes.
operational, but people have to
Yes.
understand that there's a bunch of studios, but they were so big that they had corporate structure that sat on top for
Yep.
marketing and literally everything else. So,
Yeah, and that will be Xbox now, right? And
yep.
and the thing is, I just did this the other day. This was coincidental to anything we're talking about right now, but I think I was just going looking for a logo. And I mean, this may be obvious to some people, but there's a company called Activision, or there was a company called Activision Blizzard that was almost a holding company for this other stuff because there's actually there was a game studio or a company, whatever, under that called Activision, just Activision. And there was, King, and there was Bethesda, I'm sorry, Blizzard, and whatever else, right? And so I think those are going to be the studios. So like Activision will almost certainly continue as a brand. It will, although actually even under Activision, the studios were actually things like Sledgehammer and what are the other companies like?
Ravensoft and
Yeah, what's the big one? Infinity Ward.
mhm.
So actually, that's interesting. So I wonder if the Activision brand goes away. That thing's been around since the Atari 2600. I'd be careful
Yeah.
with that. I think it's still a good brand. I
I
would.
don't think, yeah, I don't think they're going to get rid of Activate. I don't know.
I know, but what does that mean? Like
Yeah.
what do you call? I don't know. We'll find. I guess we'll find out. Because that the thing you're referring to is a leak, isn't it? Or was it an official announcement?
No. It was their published letter
Okay, I'm sorry.
thing or
Yeah.
something like that.
Boy. All right, we'll see. I think there's gonna be a lot of changes, right? Richard
Nope.
place, and it's like, I don't know. Do they all? We'll see. It's gonna be there's gonna be some churn, I would say.
Oh, there's more than that. I would expect.
Yeah.
In February.
Not just, but it's not
potentially.
just gonna be Bobby Kotick. It's gonna be, and not just executives. I mean, like at some point, there's gonna be too much of this, I guess.
Well, yeah, you don't need two accounting offices, fully staffed accounting offices. It's unfortunate to say that, but that's
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully it'll take the best of the best, right? And integrate it that way. I assume that's the plan, right?
I don't know. They paid $70 billion. They gotta
Mhm.
assume that it's better on the other side. I don't know.
Yep. We'll find out.
We'll find out. I don't know. I guess we'll be back tomorrow, and then we'll figure out tomorrow what we're gonna do for next week. Which
Oh,
eh,
yeah. Oh, a little holiday coming up.
little. I mean, the Bengals do play on Saturday, so that is a holiday.
Um,
Wow.
that's great. Yeah, it's December, so the NFL could be on any day of the week now. It's
It's the best time of the year for that.
it's the most wonderful time. Yep.